Longhorns came in, one of the best hitting teams in the country. That came to a halt last night.
Yeah, number 2 in the country, Beth, but last night they ran into G. Juarez, just 3 hits when they typically are scoring a lot more runs, and they typically don't give up a lot of runs, but they did those 10 earned runs last night for a team that typically gives a tad over 2, so they're going to have to turn some things around today.
There is a look at your starting lineup for Texas, and head coach Mike White. They make a little change up top. Shannon Rhodes leads the team in home runs and runs batted in. She's going to move up to first, ahead of Janae Jefferson in that 2 spot today. She is their career leader in batting average. Mustard last night, and just 3 hits off of G. Juarez. The pop up to short, and Grace Lyons 1 away. We apologize. We're working on some audio technical difficulties. Hope to get that squared away for you. Janae Jefferson, the junior from Humboldt, Texas, will step in here in the 2nd spot in the order. She's reached base in 26 of 29 games she's played in this year, and she is just 15 hits shy of becoming the all-time leader in Texas history. Went 0 for 2 last night. Shannon Sale, 8-0 on the season, 36 innings of work, Smitty, and has given up just 2 runs on 9 hits. And is one of the most improved in the country this year.
Yeah, that minuscule ERA, as you mentioned, a tad under .4.
Jefferson takes it the opposite way and drops it in for a base hit.
Well, and Sale, with all those different tools that she has, a different look than G. Juarez, who is the lefty, but Sale can bring it from the right side. She's got great velocity, and that's really the name of the game for her. She's going to elevate the pitch up at your eyeballs with the rise ball. She can also go curve and screw, so she can expand the strike zone, and she also has a very good changeup. You throw all that together, and the fact that she doesn't walk many people has been her ticket to success this year. And Beth, she keeps the ball in the yard, and that's huge. Just 1 home run given up this year.
The other thing, too, about this Oklahoma pitching staff and the defense, which has only committed 9 errors all season, in their 31 games, they've only played 8 full 7-inning games. All the rest have been run rules. So if you are efficient in the circle, you can be over quickly.
Yeah.
As Sale checks out Lauren Burke, the junior from Eugene, Oregon, who transferred in along with Mike White 3 years ago. High school All-American from Marist, where she followed in the footsteps of one of our dear friends, Caleb Breaux, who started and won a national championship at Alabama, and now a part of our ESPN broadcast family.
Burke's an interesting story because she actually, Coach White coached her 10 and under team, so.
Yeah. That got away from Kinsey Hansen. Jefferson will take second, and the Longhorns now with a runner in scoring position here in the top of the 1st. And Hansen wants to talk with Sale on that. May have gotten mixed up there in their communication. Kinsey is the sophomore from Norco, California. She's been handling some of the catching duties along with Lindsay Elam, who is the DP in the lineup today. And there's some of that high heat you were talking about, Michelle.
Yeah, nice rise ball. Gets up in the eyes. Really hard to lay off of.
Full count to Burke. In foul territory, and that will drift out of play. On a chilly afternoon in Norman, Oklahoma, low 50s, clouds overhead. With the Longhorns in town trying to end the streak. They are sick and tired of talking about it. They've lost 19 in a row to Oklahoma. And Burke draws the walk. 2 on with 1 out. And here comes Mary Iacopo, one of their home run hitters, 11 on the season, 35 runs batted in. Went 1 for 2 last night. One of their 3 hits.
Texas already coming out aggressive, knowing that they're going to have to really look at good pitches early in the zone and attack them. That's one of the things that Coach White talked about earlier, is they have to be aggressive on good pitches.
A 1 from Sale. Inside pitch, pops it up, and drifting over into foul territory to make the catch is Grace Lyons, 2 down. Big out to get Iacopo, and that'll bring up the shortstop Mackenzie Parker, sophomore from Conroe, Texas. She also had one of their 3 hits last night. Trying to at least get Jefferson home from second. Tremendous speed out there. The base hit for Janae, the walk to Lauren Burke over at first. And a team that came in second best in the country behind Oklahoma in team batting average, and 5th in the nation with home runs. They hit one last night, their 59th of the year.
And Bethan on pace. The school record for Texas is 88 home runs. They should be able to manage that this year. But as you mentioned, coming down to Coach White, this is what's important right here. Starting off this game, if they can get a lead here, make something happen here in the top of the first inning, the mentality just makes a big difference for your confidence.
Well, and we talked to him this week, said, I don't have to bring it up with my team. They know how big this is. They know how important this rivalry is. And they know how important. It's pretty simple. We got to get a win. Yeah. He said, we just need to get a win and get some confidence. They did not have an opportunity with a runner in scoring position in game 1. They've got one here right away. And the count goes full to Parker. Runners will be able to get a head start. And another walk, the second one of the inning to load the bases.
Well, and that's not very typical for Shannon Sale. She had, coming into this game, just 14 walks on the season in her 36 innings pitched.
Last night it was Oklahoma, back-to-back home runs in the first inning, and that was pretty much the ball game. They are a team that strikes early, strikes quickly, and gets you down, and Texas trying to change that here in game 2. Oh-1 to Colleen Sullivan, the sophomore transfer from UCLA, a part of their national championship team a couple years ago. And now 0-2.
2 nice pitches by Sale. Bases loaded situation. Knows she has to go right at Sullivan.
452 on the year with a runner in scoring position for Colleen. Sale couldn't get her to chase. Same spot. 2-2.
This is the pitch as a hitter you always want to look at. You know, pitchers don't want to go to 3-2 with the bases loaded. If it's good, you got to attack it.
Sullivan slashes that foul. Hit .273 in the shortened season last year, way up this season, close to 400. 6 home runs on the year. Full count.
I like that pitch. It runs it to 3-2, but that's a great pitch. Good job by Kenzie Hansen, too, behind the dish. Make sure that stays in front of her.
1 for 4 on the season with the bases loaded for Sullivan. Gets a hold of one out to deep left, back on the edge of the track, and it's caught by Jocelyn Alo. Texas leaves them loaded. Sooners picking up the bats when we come back. Texas had a chance, could not cash it in with the bases loaded in their first at-bat, and here come the Sooners, who hit a couple of home runs in their first at-bat in the opening game last night. New pitcher today, though, it's Molly Jacobson, making her 11th start of the season, Michelle.
Well, the biggest thing for Jacobson being a lefty, she's going to need to try to get that curveball underneath the hands of those powerful righties, mix speeds with the changeup, and keep Oklahoma off balance. Easier said than done, but pitch from ahead, keep them off balance, work the corners.
And she'll be facing what is, through the first half of the season, the best offense in the country, with some pretty gaudy numbers that could threaten the NCAA record books in just about every major category. They have won their last 38 games in a row, and it was Jennings and Alo who went back-to-back to start the game last night. Both going Oppo. With Jocelyn Alo a chance to threaten the regular season, single season home run record. She's already got 23 on the year. She had 30 as a freshman 2 years ago. Single season mark is 37 of Laura Espinoza from Arizona back in the mid-90s. And this is Tiare Jennings, Oklahoma's freshman recruiting class, #1 in the country. Jennings and Jada Coleman, the top 2 in the nation. And after committing 3 errors last night, they open up with a boot to start game 2.
That is the 43rd error of the year for Texas, and they have just had their defensive struggles. And when you have someone like Molly Jacobson on the mound, you cannot do this, because she throws a lot of ground ball outs, and Parker just doesn't even get her glove close to being down to the ground, kicks that ball, and the Sooners already someone on base here with Alo stepping up.
Jocelyn has homered in 21 of their 31 games. Her OPS, that's your combined on base and your slugging. Good numbers for the big leaguers. Maybe, you know, over 1. You may find a few guys over 1,000. She's over 2,000. Ridiculous OPS for Alo this year. Front runner for National Player of the Year honors right now.
Well, I bet that just tells you it's her average at over 500. It's 23 home runs, so it's the slugging percentage. And it's her ability to walk. 20 walks on the year. Just can do it all.
Goes opposite, bobbled at second. They have enough time to get Alo as Jennings moves over to second base, one away. Almost back-to-back errors to start out the game.
Well, Jennings runs well, but that's typically a play that the second baseman's going to get and try to get the lead runner just to take some pressure off of your pitcher. But the defensive woes, you can just tell this Texas team is a little snake bit right now. Jefferson is one of the best second basemen in the entire country. But there's hesitation.
Kenzie Hansen. Hansen 487 on the season with a runner in scoring position. The team as a whole hits better than 450 RISP. They were 4 for 14 last night. 1-0 from Molly Jacobson. Good off speed in for a strike.
Well, Beth, Jacobson being out there as a lefty, sometimes you think, all right, we're going to throw a lefty at him. Maybe that they'll struggle a little bit against that left arm. No, situationally, they hit 553 against lefties. You know, almost 440 against righties.
Hot shot from Hansen through the left side, and that will score. Jennings, who comes home from second and sliding safely in with the RBI double, is Kenzie Hansen. 1-0 Sooners.
Well, this is that curveball coming in from Jacobson trying to get underneath the hands, and it just does not get under enough, and Hansen just smokes that right down the third baseline. Take a look at the way she's just going to get extended on that ball, puts it right through Kanu's legs, right through the wickets, and Oklahoma on the board again early in that first inning. This team just knows how to score.
Wow, what could have potentially been a 1-2-3 inning has a run on the board with only one out. And here's your number 4 hitter, Grace Lyons. Backhanded by Parker, only play is to first, but the speed of Lyons doesn't even force a throw.
Well, this is a slow developing play, and you can see that Parker is going to go get this ball, but when a slow developing play, so ground ball that's not completely just smashed at you, you don't have a lot of options. You have to go get it when a team runs very well, and that's a tough play because she's going to backhand it. You almost have to take an angle in and try to throw off the run. Parker may not have had a handle on it. She decides to hold on to it now with runners at first and second.
Well, they're talking to Parker, trying to get her settled down. And meanwhile, Oklahoma strategizing here with 2 on base for Jada Coleman, last year's high school national player of the year, who's hitting .512 on the season. And look at these numbers, all tops in the country in batting average, runs scored. They're averaging over 11, close to 12 runs per game. 96 home runs, including 3 last night. It's near impossible to keep them out of big innings, Michelle, when their on-base percentage is over 500 as a team.
Yeah, it's a pick-your-poison lineup. It's not like you can pitch around, 1 or 2 studs in the lineup. You walk Lyons, you got it. Coleman, you walk Coleman, you have Elam. It's just nonstop power and average coming to bat every single hitter.
So they scored 5 runs in the first inning last night. And now they've got 1 on the board, looking for more in the first inning here today, after Texas left the bases loaded in the top of the inning. Coleman looking for a gap, and she'll find it. Off the base of the wall and left, and another run is in. Third hit in a row for the Sooners. It's another RBI double.
Jada Coleman is going to take this pitch on the outside corner. It stays on the plate, and she just wallops it into the gap. The timing of these hitters is impeccable. They have that high leg kick. They get the front foot down on time. They barrel it up, and then easily going to score Hansen and Lyons. This is a team that just knows how to hit with runners in scoring position. They know how to hit for average and obviously have a lot of power.
The DP, Lindsey Elam, from Chickasha, Oklahoma. 1 for 3 with a run batted in last night. Four-year starter for the Sooners. Second-generation college softball player. Her mom, Carla, was a good baller back in her day. And Elam just over the reach of Jefferson, and another run scores.
Well, and for Oklahoma, when things go right, they go really right. Elam is going to get jammed up, but look at the defense. So you have Jefferson in, and she gets jammed up. It just goes up over the glove, and it just seems like you're zigging, and Oklahoma is zagging. So the defense is up, and a little jam shot gets in over Jefferson's head, and another big run up on the board for Oklahoma. 4 hits now in a row.
And here's Talon Snow, the first baseman out of Chino Hills, California. Played a couple of years on the left side of the infield at Auburn before transferring in. The third of the Snow sisters to play major D1 softball. It all started with the error at short. And then potential outs that they could have gotten on Alo and Hansen. And now the run of hits in a row. And the drag bunt, and everybody going to be safe. Well placed by Snow to bring Coleman home. It's 4-0.
Well, and this is just picking on the defense. Colleen Sullivan, the first baseman, is going to charge in and pick this up, but there's nobody at first base. Jefferson is behind the pitcher, so is behind Jacobson, and so when that bunt goes down, Sullivan goes to look to first base, but there's nobody there. So Texas needs to really try to regroup this defense and talk, communicate, get a good idea of where they're going to be so that they can make the play.
And let's see, Smitty, was the runner third going? Yeah, that's a squeeze right there.
And so the bunt is down. Sullivan has it. Nobody even close to first base.
That wasn't even a safety squeeze. That's putting a lot on Snow to get that ball down, and she did it beautifully. So give her the RBI single. Hansen, Coleman, Elam, and Snow all driving in runs here in the bottom of the first. Janet Johns is the 8th batter to the plate with 2 on and still just the 1 out. Last night, Michelle, it was the big bops that got it started. Now it's just trickling. Double, single, squeeze.
Capitalizing on the mistakes, mental and physical, of Texas. (31-0). The record start for a season is 35-0. Canisius and Oregon under Mike White had 35-0 starts to their seasons. Mike, tremendous success at Oregon. 5 Pac-12 titles, 5 trips to the Women's College World Series. They met up with Oklahoma on the Sooners' run to the 2017 National Championship in the semifinals that year. Jacobson gets the big strikeout there of Johns, looking 2 down. And this will speak to the depth for you of the lineup. Are they going to a pinch hitter here already? It was supposed to be Nicole Mendez due up, and here is Mackenzie Donahue, who as a pinch hitter last night hit a walk-off 3-run home run. Well, Mendez is a lefty hitter, so probably trying to get Donahue in and try to take advantage of a right-handed hitter. Mendez was 2 for 3 last night with 2 RBIs.
That's the kind of depth they've got. Take out a near 400 hitter and replace her with one of the real feel-good stories of the season for Oklahoma. Donahue kind of coming out of nowhere to hit over 500 so far this year. Jammed, Parker at short makes the play here, and the side is retired. All 9 step up to the dish for Oklahoma, and they plate 4. Unbeaten with the early lead. Hits for Oklahoma and the 4-0 lead for Patty Gasso, the Hall of Famer and 4-time national champ, with perhaps her most dominant team that she's ever had here. And that's saying something when you talk about how they have dominated this Texas rivalry. Since 2014, they have won every single time they've squared off. More power than Texas, more runs generated. 19 in a row, including the win last night and the early jump here this afternoon. Back-to-back national champs in 2016, 2017. They've been to the Champ Series 5 times in the last 8 years, and Michelle, when that amazing class left, the Knightons and Cliftons and Romeros, everybody thought, oh boy, how are they going to replace these guys? They won 2 titles, they played for another one. Well, you bring in this freshman class that may change things even more.
You just reload. You bring in a Jennings, you bring in a Coleman. You refresh Jocelyn Alo.
Yeah.
After a down campaign into a National Player of the Year frontrunner. You have upperclassmen that are accepting new roles and sometimes coming off the bench. And you have a pitcher like Nicole May, one of the best in the country, willing to come here knowing that she might be the 3rd option, but will still have an opportunity to throw in some big games and learn from some of the best. Here's a 1-2 from Shannon Sale, facing the bottom of the Texas order. One thing you know that you can't do when you face the Sooners, you can't help them. And unfortunately for Texas, they gave them a helping hand in that first inning.
With 3 errors last
and
night.
Some defensive miscues. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, Beth, a lot of times too, you talk about the intimidation of getting in the circle and throwing against a potent offense, but it's the same thing for the hitters. The hitters going up against a very stingy pitching staff for Oklahoma. They don't give up a lot, so it puts pressure on you in the box. And when you do make contact, Oklahoma is one of the best defenses in the country. Coming with a 986 fielding percentage, 2nd in the country. So even when you do hit the ball well, you think you got to base it up the middle. It's stolen out behind it.
Working against the full count there. Sale with the rise ball for her first strikeout, 1 down.
Well, this is a dominant pitch for Shannon Sale. She's a great rise ball in the upper half of the zone. She'll take you right upstairs. It starts at your numbers and ends up at your eyeballs. Gets you to swing through it. First strikeout of the game for Sale.
Next up is Caitlin Washington. First pitch swinging and lines it right at Janet Johns. 2 down.
Well, this is what we're talking about. You feel like you get a good swing, great contact, barrel up a ball, and boom. There's a defender right there to cut it down. Janet Johns in a great position, slightly off the line, understanding where pitches are being thrown. The lefty Washington. Yeah, and that's one thing, Beth, this whole program, you can see the excellence in everything they do, from their positioning to where they move to how their pitcher, their battery is calling and locating pitches. And all those little things create this amazing team that is defensively one of the best, hard to score off of, and then they put runs up on the board, so just so complete.
0-2 now to Bree Cantu, hit a home run, the one bright spot for them last night. And another strikeout for Sale in a 1-2-3 inning.
Shannon Sale showing why she is one of the best rise ball pitchers in the game, going upstairs. Second strikeout of the game for Shannon Sale.
If you're shopping for a compact SUV, you're probably considering the usual suspects. But now's the time to consider a Volkswagen Tiguan. Because the Tiguan has a lower maintenance cost than Subaru, Honda, and Toyota. Which is surprising if you don't drive one, but not at all if you do. Now's a smart time to get into a Volkswagen SUV at our Sign Then Drive event. Lease a new Tiguan for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0% payment, and 0 due at signing, or get 0% APR financing for 72 months.
I know it's been a rough few months since Mom and...
I'm just not good at talking about this stuff. It hurts, and I miss her. But you're right. It's important.
Guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
4-0 our score. Oklahoma with the lead over Texas as we move to the bottom of the second inning. I would like to welcome those of you that have been watching Florida win the series against Alabama. Kendall Lindemann with the grand slam and a 9-2 win for the Gators. Beth Mowins along with Michelle Smith. And the Oklahoma Sooners trying to stay undefeated and trying to beat Texas, Michelle, for the 20th time in a row, and they jump out to the early lead.
Well, they're trying very well. Let's put 5 hits in a row. They put 4 runs up on the board in that first inning, and this is just a very complete Oklahoma team that does it all. They hit for average and power. They pitch well. They defend the ball well. Just a very, very fun team to watch.
Texas had a chance. They loaded the bases in the first inning but could not score. And then Oklahoma sent all 9 to the plate in the bottom half of the inning and had 5 hits in a row to score those 4 runs. It all started with an error on the Texas defense. It's been a problem all year long for the Longhorns, and Oklahoma made them pay dearly for it. So it's back to the top of the order. And Tiare Jennings, who reached on that error and then came in to score. Grounds the 3-run through the 5-6 hole. And the base hit to lead things off here in the second. And here comes Jocelyn Alo. Grounded out in the first. From National Freshman of the Year and All-American a few years back. Then a bit of a funk at the plate. After hitting 30 home runs as a rookie, the numbers dropped. And a 1 pitch out for Alo, the check swing. And that cuts my story short on Jocelyn. 1 away.
Well, if you're Jacobson, you're grateful for that check swing out. You'll take it any way you can get it.
Kinsey Hansen, RBI double out to left back in the first inning. Patty Gasso telling us she really likes the strides that Kinsey has made, has really matured, has a really good understanding of the culture for the Sooners and how to deliver.
Hansen hitting out of that 3 spot. I think the area where she's obviously made a big impact as well is behind the dish. Does a great job of working with her pitchers, getting calls for them, throwing out runners. Not that many have tried to really run on Oklahoma, but the fact that she also has this close to 500 batting average, hitting out that 3 spot is a bonus.
Molly Jacobson out there in the circle trying to settle things down on her 11th start of the season, Michelle, the transfer from Ole Miss.
Typically will be down in the zone, has that curveball that most lefties will throw. She needs to get that under the hands of the righties, but I think the most important pitch of this afternoon for her is going to be that changeup. She needs to throw it often for a strike as well as a ball.
Parker to Jefferson for 1, over to first, and a double play for Texas, and the defense responds. How about the dominance for the Oklahoma Sooners? They've won 38 in a row, 9 shy of the NCAA record. They've gone 56 straight Big 12 series without losing. And when it comes to just Big 12 teams, singularly 59 straight wins in a row during the regular season and the conference tournament. Their last loss was last February to North Texas, and look at the gaudy numbers during this 38-game winning streak, which includes the 31-0 start to this year.
Got 107 home runs.
Wow. 3 home runs a game, over 10 runs scored per game. Stellar pitching. Top of the order here for Texas. Shannon Rhodes popped up to short in her first at-bat. Looking to lay down the bunt. And a foul ball.
Looks like it hit the ground and came up, rolled off of her while she was in the box. Interesting choice there by the player that leads your team in home runs and runs batted in. We talked earlier about the fact she moved up into the leadoff spot. Janae Jefferson down to the 2-hole. And now Shannon Sale, the 0-2 pitch. Yeah, Beth, when you see home run hitters dropping bunts, to me that's a confidence issue. It's like I'm trying anything to make something happen. And granted, at times, maybe first pitch, show the bunt, try to pull the corners in to mash something past them. But you know, I think this is a Texas team that needs to get back to focusing on how they can play Texas softball, because in their own right, this is a top 10 program. Got her. Third strikeout for Sale. Took a little off after the heater right before that. Well, this is a curveball on the outside corner, so she's going upstairs to set up Rhodes, and then she'll run that pitch away. And that's really what Sale does so well, is that she can move the ball on the corners with a really good curveball, screwball. But it's the rise ball that she can get up in the eye. She's the hardest pitcher on the staff for Oklahoma. Good velocity in the upper 60s. But it's her ability to really move the ball through the zone on different planes that makes her tough to hit. Here's Janae Jefferson. When we talked to Patty Gasso, she said job one is to keep JJ off the bases. They were able to do that last night, halting her 9-game hitting streak. But this is an All-American who was not satisfied with that particular accolade, added some power to her game this year, got a little more pop. Sends that one out to the gap in left center and back to the wall and bouncing off the top. She says that was a round tripper. And it looks like the umpires agree. Janae Jefferson goes yard. Patty Gasso disagreeing. Let's see where this hits. Oh, it looks like it
that
goes
is off the top. of
Yeah,
the
very top of the
inside wall, which would mean it would still be in play.
Yeah, it looks like it
Yeah.
goes off the top of the wall and comes back in. So I think now the decision, Beth, is that it comes back in, but they don't tag her, and she keeps running. So is it an in-the-park home run if it's
Wow.
not out, unless the umpires call it out? Let's see what the ruling
Big
is.
play there for Texas. Well, it was odd because the umpires like continued to follow her around the bases, and did they ever indicate that it was a home run?
Yeah, I
Which
did
would
not
have meant
see
the
any of
Florida
them.
defenders would have stopped and not tried to tag her out.
Yeah, I did not see any of the umpires give the home run twirling of the hand. Now, granted, sometimes it's difficult to see that, but this ball, it's an 0-2 pitch. It gets lifted out. Jefferson goes up and gets it.
Now,
Take a look.
she looks to the umpire. Does anybody signal a home run? She must have seen a signal from one of the umpires.
Yeah.
Run on the board for the Longhorns. And there it is, the umpire right there at third base. Rotating that right finger, home run. Lions at short, over to first. 2 down.
Well, and that's just the second home run that Shannon Sale has given up this year. I'm sure it's a pitch that she would have liked back at a 0-2 count. Jefferson hitting that well.
Third home run for Janae in her last 4 games. We talked about her adding to her power game. And an off-the-wall, sorta inside the park
Sorta.
home run. We're going to have to
Home
come
run.
up with a new name for that for the podcast this
Yep.
week.
Exactly.
How about that in her Texas career? Didn't have a dinger through 502 at-bats, and now all of a sudden, pow.
Boom.
See if that'll
Brings
give
up the
Texas a
power.
little life.
Yeah. Well, I love the mentality of, as you mentioned, Beth. I mean, she comes into this year, last opportunity after COVID last year, and said, hey, I want to do better. You know, I know I'm still bases I hit for average. I want to hit for power. Works on that, works on her strength, getting strong in the weight room. You got to love that mentality.
And the walk for Lauren Burke, or excuse me, Iacopo, her third of the day for Sale.
Very uncharacteristic Sale with just 14 walks coming into this game, 2 in that first inning. Had a nice 1-2-3 inning in the second, but a home run and now another walk. Going to bring out Jen Rocha to have a little bit of a talk.
Mm-hmm. Earlier today, some of you were watching Florida beat Alabama. They won last night as well. UCLA winning again today over Oregon State. So Rachel Garcia threw a no-hitter last night and hit a home run today. And for Washington, their second game with Oregon coming up later. Gabby Plain won last night to improve to 21-0. And ASU won the first matchup against Arizona in their duel in the desert out west. Oh, 1 to Parker. walked in the first. Trying to catch the outside corner, 2-1. Lifted out to left, and coming on to make the play is Alo. Side retired, Janae Jefferson, the home run off the top of the wall and back into play, but it still counts. And a run on the board for Texas. Sooners and Longhorns today in Norman. A 4-1 lead for Oklahoma as we head to the bottom of the third. Janae Jefferson getting Texas on the board. A solo home run, which upon replay should not have been. Bounced back into the field of play, but the umpires called it a homer. It stood. Of course, no replay on the women's side during the regular season. Molly Jacobson back to work now with a little bit behind her. 4, 5, and 6 for the Sooners. All 4 of their runs coming in the first when they sent 9 to the plate. Some shaky defense for Texas, but they shored it up in the second. Had a 6-4-3 double play and a quick inning of work for Jacobson.
So difficult at times for pitchers to use those corners, really knowing that when that defense behind you at times can be shaky. Gets back to a 3-2 count.
Lyons singled and scored back in that first inning and is on board for the second. Third inning in a row, the Sooners have the leadoff on board. Well, this week's Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. It's the series finale from Wrigley Field with the Braves and the Cubs. Game time is 7 Eastern, and the coverage begins at 6 o'clock with Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown, also available on your ESPN app. Braves took game 1. Looks like the Cubs will take game 2. They've hit 6 home runs today. And we'll have game 3 for you tomorrow night. Sunday Night Baseball. So far in the series, the Sooners in 8 innings have gotten the leadoff on 5 times as Jada Coleman steps in. RBI double back in the first. From the Colony, Texas. And Patty Gasso is the first non-Coleman to coach Jada. It's been in the family prior with mom, dad, and her sister all lending a helping hand. Jada, with the hit earlier, has now extended her streak to 18 games in a row and has driven in RBIs here in both games of this series. Driven in runs, I should say.
Yeah, and coming into today's game at a .512 batting average clip. I mean, for a freshman to come into Division I softball, both herself and Jennings, just tone setters. A lot of different tools.
What happened to that adjustment period where you have to get used to college pitching? And you know, adjusting to your newfound independence as a
Yeah.
college student athlete. All the distractions that come with that. I'll just hit 500.
Yep. It's pretty
With a
incredible.
pandemic going on. Coleman lifts that one out to left. Back to the track. At the base of the wall is Lauren Burke to make the catch. One down as Lions will head back to first.
Well, and it's amazing the amount of power that comes off the bats of these Oklahoma hitters. They have the tendency to let the ball really travel. So if you notice, most of their power is inside out. So a lot of them are going oppo. So the lefties are hitting to left field. The righties are hitting to right field. They let that ball travel deep, and they just barrel it out like that.
Lindsey Elam smashes that one over the bleachers. Two-run home run. Oppo schmappo, Smitty. I'm going to yank this.
Showing that they can not only hit oppo, but we can also yank it down the line. This pitch just elevated out of the yard. It's actually a pitch on the outside corner that just leaks through the zone. Take a look at where this ball is. It's right over the white of the plate, and Elam just smashes this ball. That's at least a 240 shot, getting out of here in a hurry. Fifth home run for Elam.
It's the first of the game for Oklahoma. They're fourth now in the 2 games of the series. Five RBI now in her last 4 games for Lindsey. Different players have hit home runs up and down this lineup, and there's another deep launch. Almost got out. Snow trying for second, and she'll get there off the top of the wall.
Snow winning this lefty-lefty battle. Pitch that's supposed to be a backdoor, looks like potentially a backdoor curveball, and it's just elevated. And Snow just drives that off of the wall. Just such great timing. Every one of these hitters for Oklahoma, they are not fooled. They're not fooled by velo. They're not fooled by the change of speed, by the movement. Just a lot of energy and passion from this great lineup.
Mike White out to talk with Molly Jacobson. She's shown a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, coming back from an injury, battling through, you know, not being 100%. They were hoping they might be able to get 4 or 5 innings out of her today. You know, still trying to get the stamina back. The pitch count's just over 50 right now here in the bottom of the 3rd, but still just the 1 out. And as you just saw, activity in the pen. Courtney Day loosening up in the bullpen. Number 8 hitter here is Janet Johns. Jacobson struck her out back in the 1st. Patty Gasso's son and assistant coach, JT, does such a good job with the hitters. Jen Rocha works with that pitching staff. They have a lot of former players around as grad assistants or volunteer assistants. They have a certain way of doing things, and you got to believe the competition in practice must just be nuts as they push each other to get better and better at the plate every day. I mean, Patty Gasso, the biggest thing is time management. She's got All-Americans that she's trying to get into the lineup on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at the players, the depth that they have on the bench, it really is amazing. And Patty's mentioned, she's like, hey, you have a lefty pitcher, I've got a very righty-heavy lineup. You've got a righty pitcher, I've got a very lefty-heavy lineup. She's got so many options and so many great athletes she can plug and play anytime she needs to.
2-2 pitch. Got Johns to reach, 2 down. Well, and Smitty, you may have had a similar experience with your years with the national team and the Olympic team, and you know, all these amazing talents, and they all want to start and they all want to pitch. You know, they want the ball every day, and you've got to get a group of people to work towards the common goal, the team goal. Ultimately, whether it's winning the championship or winning a gold medal, get everybody moving in the same direction.
Absolutely, it's all about knowing your role, and at some point when the team is successful, it's 1 through 30, it's 1 through 25, it's 1 through 15 on the Olympic team, and that's important for every team to know their role, every teammate to understand what they bring to the party, because there's a lot that needs to come together in order to win championships.
Mackenzie Donahue, who pitch hit in the first inning, looks like she will stay in the lineup here and hit again out of the 9 spot. Grounds it to third. Cantu over to first. Side retired, but a couple more in with a big bop. The 2-run home run for Elam and a 6-1 lead. High as most might suspect, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Texas all coming in at 17, 18, and 21. UCLA is your #1 RPI this week.
I think all those numbers shuffle very interesting. Based on the COVID year and trying to make up games. Patty Gasso talked to us about picking up and going to Georgia next week to really try and work on that those RPI numbers and get as many games in as possible.
We'll have the doubleheader for you on the ESPN networks. We've also got Game 3 of this series for you tomorrow afternoon. And there's a look at what is to come at North Texas, by the way, on April 28th. Hope Troutwine coming off of that perfect game last Sunday, striking everybody out, all 21. We talk about that on the 7 Innings podcast this week. I honestly, Smitty, I would love for the selection committee to ditch the RPI this year.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of other pieces of criteria. We don't necessarily need that this year with the pandemic and people limited in who they can play, 1 down, as they record the out of Sullivan.
Yeah, I agree, Beth. I think this is a very unique year, and obviously the biggest case in point would be the Big Ten, who's only playing other Big Ten opponents. So I think it's important for every one of those committee members to really, the eye test. They need to be watching as many softball games as possible to get an understanding of who's doing what.
Talk to as many people as they can, get a feel for, the styles of different play. You look at head-to-head. You look at how you finish the year. How do you do on the road? How are you doing against the other high-quality teams? High fly ball down the left field line and drifting into the bullpen. Well, for the 42nd straight year, the NFL Draft is coming your way on ESPN, also on the NFL Network. And the Game Day crew will be on ABC again this year, covering it from the college perspective. And it all comes to you on Thursday, April 29th through May 1st, all 3 days on ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. Trevor Lawrence, a pretty solid bet, the Clemson quarterback, to go #1 to Jacksonville and new head coach Urban Meyer. And after that, everybody interested to see if it's going to be a run on quarterbacks early in the first round this year. Another strikeout for Shannon Sale as she gets Courtney Day. 4th for Shannon, 2 down.
First time through the lineup Sale was using that rise ball a lot. Look at the way she's going to throw this off-speed drop. Just turns it over and takes a lot off. Day swings right through it. Really nice location, really nice change of speed.
Two down for Caitlin Washington, lined out to third base back in the second inning. Senior from Humble, Texas, her 5th year with the Longhorns. Of course, that's the other thing when we talk about what the coaches, you know, the responsibilities they have. You have super seniors, you have essentially 2 freshman classes, you have much bigger rosters than you're accustomed to. And Sale gets her 2nd strikeout of the inning. This is what happened last night. Tiare Jennings goes yard in the 1st inning, and then right after her, Jocelyn Alo sends it out oppo as well. And that was all that Oklahoma needed to get revved up in an 11-1 run rule win. And Alo and Jennings are coming back to the plate. Look at the numbers, the home run power, Michelle, for this team.
Well, 67 home runs for the hitters, 1st through 4. More than 277
Yikes.
other teams in the NCAA. Teams, complete teams. Those 4 hitters have for Oklahoma. Just phenomenal. 97 home runs so far on the year.
Jennings, right on cue. Gone.
Wow. 98th home run of the year for this Oklahoma team. 19th home run for this freshman. Look at the way she gets all into this ball. High leg kick, gets the front foot down, barrels it up, head down, and watch it. Look at the way that she's going to attack this pitch early and just drive it out of the yard. Tiare Jennings just on fire.
Two for 3, has scored a couple times. The solo home run to get things going here in the 4th, and it looks like a pitching change coming up for Texas as Jacobson will depart. With 17 and 2/3 innings of work, Michelle.
Yeah, and she's all dropped down in the zone, and that's one of the things that this Texas team is going to try to do now, hammer the lower half of the zone, mix speeds, try to keep the ball in the park, which is easier said than done against a very disciplined Oklahoma team.
And oh, by the way, the first person you face is Jocelyn Alo, who's actually 0 for 2 today. 2 home runs in the last 2 innings here for Oklahoma. '77 career home runs for Jocelyn as she inches closer to the all-time top 10. Ripped down the line, foul. She's number 2 active behind Jessie Harper of Arizona, who is tied for 5th all-time right now with 85. And of course, the all-time queen is Oklahoma's Lauren Chamberlain at 95.
I think what's amazing is not just the power numbers, but the 4 average numbers. 23 home runs with a 500-plus batting average. So,
and that's her dad, Levi, sitting right next to Gramita. Family in attendance, more watching back home in Hawaii. High chop, and that will get through in the first hit of the day for Jocelyn.
Jocelyn showing why she has a 500-plus batting average. It's not all balls leaving the park. It's the ability to barrel up a ball, hit it high, right back through the infield, beats the shift. Oh, yeah, and the family's proven. Levi giving her
To
some
the
love.
right.
Say, that's my girl.
To the right of the shift that time. She'll be lifted here for a pinch runner. Can re-enter. That'll be Riley Boone out there to run. Kinsey Hansen will step up. Up and in from Courtney Day. Had a terrific finish to the shortened season last year. Went 5-0 on the campaign. Uphill battle right now to try and end the streak as Oklahoma tries for its 20th consecutive win in the Red River rivalry. They may not talk about the history at Oklahoma, but certainly they're aware of it, as are we. You don't go there to be mediocre. And it is a championship culture that Patty Gasso has created. The expectation is we're here to win championships. There are all the trips to the Women's College World Series, and in gold, the 4 national championships. 5 times in the finals in the last 8 years. Henson gets a hold of one. That one will stay in the yard, and Burke has it. 1 down. Tonight on ABC and the ESPNF staff, who's smoking hot right now for the Warriors, taking on Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. Can Curry make it 10 straight games with 30 points or better? Coverage begins with NBA Countdown on 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Boone goes and is thrown out. Terrific throw from Iacopo, and the tag applied, 2 down.
Iacopo is going to go to her knees and just throw this down. Look at the way she gets rid of this so quickly. Parker coming across. Really good execution on all aspects of this. The throw, the tag. Looks like actually the shoe of Boone got, Spike got caught up in Parker's glove, flipped her around.
So what was the discussion there? Did they just say no balls and no strikes? Well, that's in for a strike. 0-1. Not sure what happened to that first pitch.
Yeah.
Did the runner leave? Did Boone leave early anyways? May have been the call there on site in Norman. (7-1) Sooners. They scored 4 in the first, 2 more in the third, and then the Jennings home run here in the fourth. They have chased the starter, Molly Jacobson. Courtney Day on in relief.
Well, one of the things that Coach Mike White talked about, he's like, we cannot give them free passes. And actually, the staff for Texas has done a good job. No walks yesterday, just one so far today, but it's not been the walks. It's the ability to figure out a way, once you get them to 2 strikes, how do you get them out? And as we speak, there we go, another walk. But it's all those little nuances of they wear you down, they elevate your pitch count, they foul off pitches until they either can take the walk or get the hit, get the mistake.
Both walks issued to Lyons. And Grace is on base for the 3rd time. And here comes Jada Coleman. RBI double in the 1st, and then she came in to score. Flew out to left field in the 3rd. To the top of the 5th in Norman, and the 7-1 lead for Oklahoma. Trying to take their 2nd in a row from Texas, and trying to work their way into the discussion about whether or not this is one of the all-time great teams. You go back to UCLA in 1989, only lost 4 times. Best record ever was Lisa Fernandez and the 92 Bruins, just 2 losses. And then that great 1994 Arizona team, Jenny Finch's Cats, with just 4 losses in 2001. And a lot of folks think that 2013 Sooner team, after the Moore, Oklahoma tornado, may have been the best team ever. Well, this one is putting up some, as the kids say, putting up numbers, Smitty. On
numbers.
Record pace, batting average, home runs, slugging, on base, you name it, they're hitting it. And they have started out the season 31-0. And there's a look at their upcoming schedule. We got tomorrow's game for you on ESPN2, and then the Georgia doubleheader on the SEC Network.
That'll be an interesting game, that doubleheader at Georgia. It's a ballpark that the ball tends to fly out of as well.
Who can get them first? Can anybody get them before the NCAA tournament starts? We'll have the Big Ten championships for you this year as well. May 12th through the 15th are all the conference finals. Spent a lot of time at the SEC tournament, the ACC tournament. All building towards the selection show Sunday night, May 16th. Actually, first up will be the end of this year, when we should find out from the NCAA the 16 predetermined sites. Schools have been putting in bids to host regionals and super regionals this year. That includes most of the usual suspects who may have been slotted into the top 16 spots anyways. Nine, and then the top of the order here for Texas. They got their 1 run in the 3rd, a Janae Jefferson disputed home run. And the strikeout for Sale, who's really heating up here, 2nd time and now 3rd time through the lineup.
Yes, Sale starting to really settle in, is going to use this pitch. You see the way that she's got that off speed on it. It's elevated, but it fools Washington as she watches that go through. And that's the pitch really that Shannon Sale has been throwing so effectively these last couple innings, taking just enough off to fool these Texas hitters.
There's a deep shot, and that's gone. Shannon Rhodes goes yard, the solo home run for Texas. Her 14th of the season.
Shannon Rhodes coming out aggressive and immediately jumping on a pitch that is just left on the plate. Look at, you could just see where that ball is. Look at how it was at the knee level, and it just gets driven out of the yard. That ball well mashed. Rhodes getting it done. 14th home run. And coming into this game, Beth, Sale had not given up but 1 home run, already 2 here this afternoon against Texas.
Big swing for Rhodes with 1 out here in the 5th. They got run ruled last night. They're trying to avoid a similar fate here today and try and get back into this. Home run and a single for Janae. Boy, you think back too, Smitty, to that first inning when they had the bases loaded with 1 out and could not get anybody home.
Well, a lot of times that just sets the tone of the game. Coming out, scoring first, just making things happen. It sets a precedence, and it's so, so important.
G. Juarez loosening up in the pen. Low and away, 2-1. Janae thought that was ball 4, and they're going to call that a strike, full count.
Oh yeah, umpire pointed at her like she attempted.
Jefferson reaches for the 3rd time.
4th walk. Shannon Sale.
One hit the first time through the lineup. 1 hit the second time through the lineup, but it was a home run, and already another home run here at the start of the 3rd time through the lineup for Texas. So some encouragement at the plate for the Longhorns. Trying to shake off any thought, Smitty, of, oh, what could have been had the first inning gone differently for them defensively when Oklahoma put up a 4 spot. And I think, did Janae Jefferson leave first base early? Yes, she did.
Yep.
Wow.
But it's all these little mistakes that are really haunting Texas right now. Errors, mental errors, leaving early. That's not even close. Jefferson
Not
just
even
looked like
close.
her timing was off. I don't even think she was running. Stealing a base on that. That, to me, is just mental lapse right now. Texas is completely spinning. And you know, Beth, that's what good teams do to you. Good teams get you out of your rhythm. You're not in your right thought processes. You make mistakes you normally never would. Intimidation factor.
Well, and the great teams, too, start thinking about how can we shorten this game? How can we prevent G. Juarez from having to make an appearance in this game? Well, we can bring the run rule into effect if we can limit the damage here. You have home run hitter Lindsey Elam due up in the bottom of the 5th. Burke opposite way and out of play.
Yeah, and you know, Beth, that's a conversation that Coach Patty Gasso has with her club on how do we play the most efficient game possible? How do we take care of our arms? How do we take care of our bodies? We get enough swings in. And part of it's keeping that foot on the gas pedal. I mean, we saw that in the first inning. Putting a bunt down, up by 3 runs. And, you know, all those little things, it's that championship mindset that Patty really instills in all of her players. And on the flip side of it, when you're Texas, you have to take the brunt of that. You have to figure out how to try to change the course of that.
2-2 to Burke. Actually, that was a 3-2 pitch, so back-to-back walks after the home run. Hey, they got Big 12 Now coming up on ESPN Plus. It's a must-have for Big 12 fans, and a look ahead at some softball coming your way, including Smitty's Oklahoma State Cowgirls on Wednesday, Baylor on Wednesday night as well, and then Baylor and Iowa State Friday night as they get their weekend series going. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com/Big 12 Now. Jan Rocha out to talk to Shannon Sale. "31 games on the year for Oklahoma. 23 of those have ended early with the run rule. Only 8 games all season have gone the full 7.
It's not a lot of 6th and 7th innings that this team is used to playing.
Iacopo, an infield pop-up and a walk. Trying to join her buddy Shannon Rhodes in the home run department. Their dad, some good-natured ribbing back and forth. Maybe a bet of a burger and a beer on which daughter is going to hit more bops this year. And right now, Texas trying to take advantage of Shannon Sale having a problem finding the strike zone. Reno. They have Taylor Hoagland in their sights. Taylor hit 18 in 2012. Shannon adding to her tally today with her 14th home run. Mary's got 11 on the year. The team as a whole will probably threaten the single-season school record. Now that is 3 walks in a row, and now you look at that base-running miscue by Janae Jefferson. Otherwise, they would be loaded right now.
Yeah, 6th walk of the game. You can just see the little bit of the frustration in the dugout. I mean, this is a point where you really don't want to use G. Juarez. You would hope that she's just getting loose for tomorrow's game.
'19 is Nicole May, a freshman from Pleasanton, California. And the California High School Player of the Year. A jam for the Sooners with Mackenzie Parker at the plate. And Shannon fighting back, 0-2. Oh, tried that off-speed drop again and just missed it.
After a couple of hard pitches on the outside corner for the setup, it's that off-speed, the way she just turns it over, dumps it down in the zone. Umpire calls it a little bit low.
Got her. After a control issue, Shannon Sale back with the strikeout.
Shannon Sale getting it done, sets it up with the off-speed and then working the outer corner with the screwball. Big strikeout for Shannon Sale.
Shannon Sale working out of a jam. Does give up a run in the top of the 5th, and to the bottom half we go. 7-2 the score. Oklahoma over Texas. 6, 7, and 8 due up to face Courtney Day, the relief pitcher for the Longhorns. And going the opposite way and getting by Kaylin Washington to the base of the wall. Elam to second, and she is safe.
In control, aggressive, opportunistic, immediately first pitch swinging. Look at this pitch on the inside corner, and the righties have been so efficient at going inside out, driving the ball from the right-handed batter's box to right field by letting that ball travel deep. Just amazing hitting.
Changeup is in for a strike to Taylon Snow. RBI on the squeeze in the 1st and then doubled in the 3rd. Solid contact again, the base hit out to right center. Elam, who had slowed, will make the turn and score. 8-2 Sooners.
Snow, the lefty, is going to get a pitch on the outside corner, just barrels it up, gets around it just enough. Just really good. Look how flat the bat head is as it goes through the strike zone. So ability for that contact to be made at any point when that ball shows up. One of the ways that you increase your batting average is by making sure that bat stays in the strike zone as long as possible, and this Oklahoma team just does that so well.
Big day for Taylon Snow with a couple of RBIs and 3 hits. And here comes Janet Johns, the number 8 hitter, who has struck out twice. This is her first time facing Day. And she now represents the winning run at the plate if they can bring the run rule here into effect and get an 8-run lead. It's become commonplace this year for the Sooners. 23 of their 31 wins have ended shy of the 7-inning mark. Off speed. Down and out. 3-0. Last night, a run rule win, 11-1. Mackenzie Donahue walked it off with a 3-run home run. Ball 4. And instead of Donahue, it will be Nicole Mendez re-entering here, it looks like, to hit in the 9 spot in the order. Mendez, the senior from Houston, who was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs last night. They go with the lefty here instead of the righty.
Yeah, and I think Beth, that Patty was playing matchups, so she put Donahue in, who was the righty hitter going up against Jacobson, the lefty pitcher. Now going back to her lefty hitter.
Fifth year at Oklahoma, all World Series team member back in 2017 when the Sooners last won it all, their 2nd in a row. Came back from an injury and actually a couple of years ago had to fight to get her job back and did just that. Had a fabulous 2019 season and now hitting just shy of 400 this year. Back to Day, who will get the force out at third, and then the ball pops loose, and the runner is safe.
On Rhodes over at third base, this ball should be easily caught. Courtney Day with a comebacker going right after the lead runner, and toss over to Rhodes. Now, and I don't know why Rhodes comes down with her glove, because when she comes down, you can see the way that it's going to hit off of Snow and pop out of her glove. It's a force play. Make the catch and evacuate the bag.
E5. Second error of the day. Mike White says, hey, she had possession before the swipe, so it should have been a second out with her foot on the base. But I don't know if he's going to win that argument.
And you know, part of your job is making it easy for the umpires. So absolutely the catch, but the play is still ongoing, and you can see. So there's the catch. The slide comes in, and I don't know why she's tagging her in that situation. There's no need to. That's just not being mentally prepared. You know, back to that
top of the
Little
order
League mentality of know what you're going to do if the ball's hit to you.
Tiare Jennings here has a chance to end it now. The game-winning run in scoring position for Oklahoma with the bases loaded. Trying to run rule Texas for the second time in less than 24 hours. A double, a single, a walk, then the fielder's choice / error. As the Sooners on the brink fouled out of play. Jennings, a single and a home run, has scored twice today. They walked off with a 3-run home run last night.
Nice pitch by Day to come back with an off speed.
1-2 pitch from Day. Low.
Comes back with it again right now for Day. You're just thinking ground balls, opportunity for my defense to try to help me out. Play it home at the force.
Jennings, deep right, and coming back in to make the catch is Washington. Snow will score. The throw was offline to make it 9-2. Sac fly RBI for Jennings for the first out. And that'll bring up Jocelyn Alo with the run rule game-winning run at third. Sooners 6 for 11 on the day with a runner in scoring position after having the leadoff reach base safely in all 5 innings today. And they will put Alo aboard to face Kinsey Hansen, who smiles as she looks on from the on-deck circle.
Well, you have to do this. This is a smart move by Texas, just trying to get themselves in a situation where they could potentially turn a double play, try to get out of the inning.
Hansen hit into a double play back in the second. 6-4-3. Also had an RBI double back in the first, so Alo loads him up. Jocelyn reaches for the second straight time, and here comes Kinsey Hansen. Top 10 in the country in both batting average and home runs hit. And she's got them loaded here in the bottom of the 5th. That speaks to how good Jocelyn Alo is, that you walked her to pitch to this kid. Just in front of it, dug that out of the river.
The confidence of these hitters, you can tell their mindset. They walk into the box knowing that they are going to put a charge in the ball.
0-2. On their feet in Norman. Change up. 1-2. Led the team last year in runs batted in. Got 39 this year in 31 games. Pops it up. Back on the grass in center. 2 down. And now it's up to Grace Lyons. A single, a couple of walks, and a couple of runs scored today. 4 for 5 in the series for Grace. And batting .429 this year with the bases loaded. Day delivers. 0-1.
Oklahoma looking for their first 2-out hit of the afternoon.
Out to center, and that one will drop. Grace Lyons, the walk-off RBI single, ends it early. And Oklahoma improves to 32-0.
So many tools for this Oklahoma team. Their ability to hit for average, to capitalize on their opponent's mistakes, to drive pitches out of the yard. 39th straight win. Over the last 2 years, this Oklahoma team is rolling.
After Texas scored in the top half of the inning, Oklahoma responds with a 3 spot in the bottom of the 5th. Their 24th run rule win of the season, 2nd straight over Texas. So they will take the series and try and go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon on ESPN2. And here's the Lions walk-off.
Oh, a pitch low in the zone. She just goes down and gets it, barrels it up, puts it on the green, and she knows that's all she needs to do at this point. Really good bat control. Getting that off-speed pitch down in the zone and just driving it onto the green.
That scores Janet Johns with the game winner. Oh, they did it today, Smitty, with singles and doubles, a couple of home run balls, a squeeze play to score, all kinds of different ways, a sac fly to drive in a run. And 10-2 the final, Oklahoma over Texas. Patty Gasso joins us on the headset down on the field. Coach, congratulations on the win. What continues to impress you about this lineup from top to bottom?
I just think it's really strong from top to bottom. There's no real holes here. They fight for their at-bats. There's a lot of people in the dugout that want in the lineup. So, I mean, it's just really push from others that are trying to get in and others that are trying to stay in. So there's just constant competition within this team all year long.
And Coach, what's the message to your hitters? You have a lot of kids going up and swinging at first pitch strikes. So what's the mentality that you're asking for your student athletes?
Aggressive, just being aggressive, attacking early in the zone, or early in the count. Just, I don't know. There's just really, to be honest, there's not a lot of messages. They're them. They do what they do. JT's done a really good job of getting them ready for what's coming, and they just really work to execute the plan. But what's really cool about this is that they talk a lot. You can hear them talking in the dugout about game plans and what I saw, and this is what you might think about doing. They really trust each other, so it's really something to witness, to be honest, just listening to these guys.
Shannon Sale, not at her best, but was able to fight through some of the tough spots. What do you like about the way that this pitching staff is keeping everything together and continuing to excel?
Really proud of them. I think, you know, it's tough to be a pitcher in college softball. There's no doubt about that. And it's just really trusting your defense and trusting your hitters that they're going to score runs for you and not feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I think sometimes our pitchers want to be so good that they almost try too hard, and trying too hard probably isn't the greatest thing to do. So we're learning. This was a good learning game for us. Besides looking at scores or anything, I mean, I know Texas. I know they're always threatening. They're pushing us. We're pushing back. But we did learn a lot today about certain things we need to change and do better.
Well, and Coach, we've talked about your pitching and your hitting, so let's just roll on to the defense as well. #2 fielding average in the country. How do you prepare them when you have such a dominant staff when they may not get a lot of opportunities?
Oh, man, they love defense. I love defense, so we work a lot on defense. They take a lot of pride in it. I think like an example last night of Mendez getting a ball off the wall and throwing the runner out at second, that's something we work on at practice, just being super efficient in the things that we do. But it's been really enjoyable to watch them. They're just really playing well, really good softball right now.
Well, congratulations on the win, Patty. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. We'll have Game 3, Oklahoma and Texas.
Thank you very much. Who has, yeah. Well, I want to know who has the best fielding average in the country besides us. Who is it?
We will share that with you in America. Everybody's got to come back tomorrow.
All right.
And find out.
See you guys.
Thank you very much, Coach Gasso. 10-2 the final. Oklahoma over Texas. Back-to-back run rule wins.